So let's talk about Analemma. Did you know that 99% of our molecules are water? That's why the quality, the kind of water you drink can have an enormous influence on the quality of your life. Analemma is a revolutionary new device that radically changes the state of drinking water. It powerfully enhances the properties of water by rearranging the H2O molecules into a liquid crystalline structure. That structure and its stability has a remarkable influence on all living things. The technology was created by two scientists in the Netherlands after over 13 years of research and development. Through their research, the scientists discovered several aspects of water that were known in the past but not studied sufficiently in modern science. They found that water is a broadband absorber of electromagnetic frequencies, and this ability rests in the structure of water. Due to various environmental reasons, H2O molecules in drinking water behave in chaotic and irregular manner. Water molecules are constantly crashing into each other. This happens on an atomic level, so we are completely unaware of it. By swirling the Analemma through the water, those same H2O molecules start forming a liquid crystalline structure. They start linking together and behaving harmonically. Through that unique process, water becomes empowered, energized, and alive. Analemma is a clear quartz crystal tube filled with special mother water that transforms regular water into a supercharged, full spectrum, coherent state. It takes 1 full year to create the mother water. So what are the benefits of drinking Analemma water? Biological age rejuvenation, balancing of the brain waves, increased vitality, and regular consumption of Analemma coherent water unleashes the body's own natural rejuvenating power. Water is involved in almost all the biological processes in the body. Since water accounts for 99% of molecules in the body, that clearly underlines its criticality for human health and wellness. In the recent independent glycan age study, the participants drinking Analemma water for only 3 months experienced an incredible 1 to 12 years of biological age rejuvenation. The whole system got regenerated on a cellular level. So let's meet the CEO of Analemma Water, Mario Brenovic, and talk to him about this amazing product. Okay. All right. So, Mario, welcome to the Uma Show. I'm super excited to have you today on the show, as well as really feel honored to be associated with this brand. And the fact that you have such an interesting story and the fact that you're doing something that's making a difference on a daily basis in people's lives, it just makes me feel so happy that we've come together in this journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uma, for having me on your show. And thank you for being the beacon of light. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this information with the world so people can get the benefit. So this is, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful to be the medium. So let's start with your story. I was again reading up about you before this interview. And of course, I had read up about you before. But every time I read, I get, more inspiring points from your whole journey. I'm like, wow, he's done so much. So in a nutshell, I would love you to share your story with my viewers.
Thank you. So I was always very passionate about health and healing people, and I deeply believe that we are all meant to be healthy and well. So I was kind of discovering ways how to help people get there, and this led me to many years ago to open a natural pharmaceutical company, which I developed for years, and really a lot of people received really beautiful benefit, and it was so gratifying for me. After a while, I decided to sell the company to Walgreens, and then I was kind of in a place I want to immerse myself in a project that would truly be for the highest good of all, that will not only help people, that will help animals, that will help plants, that will help the entire planet. And then universe did its part. So I came in contact with Dr. Eric Larker and Dolph Zantinge. These are true extraordinary gentlemen that they've actually 14 years ago now, they've picked up a lab of famous German professor and scientist Fritz Popp, who was doing research in biophotons. So they really kind of they were worried about the state of the planet, and they really wanted to figure out, to find a way to the secret of life, to find a way how we can create this optimum health and wellness in people and keep it that way. So very soon into the research, they zeroed in on water. They realized there is something extraordinarily important about water. Many people aren't aware that 99% of our molecules are water. We're basically very clever H2O. We're 70% water in mass, but 99 in molecules. So that off the bat tells you there is something extraordinarily important there. So the kind of the water we drink can have major effect on our overall health and wellness. So in our research, I joined the team, and then we kind of started to collaborate, and we developed various studies. So we realized that water can exist basically in a chaotic state or a coherent state. All of the waters we tested on the planet is due to various environmental reasons, toxins, EMFs. All of the water exists in chaotic state. That means that H2O molecules crash into each other constantly. They're moving in an irregular, chaotic way. All of this happens, of course, on an atomic level, so we're completely unaware of it. All of this chaos has a profound influence on our overall well-being, even though we're completely unaware of it. Anyhow, we realized, discovered a way to bring this chaos back into harmony. Colloquially speaking, we found a way that H2O molecules join hands. They start to form this very special liquid crystalline structure. And that structure has a profound influence on basically all the biological systems, and we tested on all of them. So it's really remarkable.
It's so amazing the way you explain it, because it's something from the very beginning of my journey into health and wellness that I have focused on. Initially, in fact, when I started coaching women as a health coach, the only thing I would like them to start with was to drink an extra glass of water. Because I feel that itself can totally change the way you feel inside of you, as well as the way your body performs. And of course, moving forward, it's your connection with yourself and also the way you receive messages from your divine self. So water, as you said, 99% of who we are is made out of water. And that's why the position of moon affects us so much, so
exactly.
So I truly believe what you're doing is making such a huge difference, and the way you have explained it. But I would like you to focus a little more on the whole concept of coherent water. What does it mean exactly? And then we'll move on to the benefits of it.
So there are coherent domains within water. So water is a broadband absorber, receiver, and transmitter of energy. It's so wonderful when you just mentioned it, it becomes so clear to us, since we are 99% water, that whatever you transmit to water, it stays there. That is the main kind of, this explained to us why we should be kind to one another. Because if I send kindness, it stays there. It changes the biology of another human being. So that clearly shows that we are all interconnected. This very special liquid crystalline structure, which we create with Analemma, it serves as an antenna, so to speak. It opens pathways to receive the optimum information with nature. Let's call it that way. I would just like to mention one really remarkable study that we did. So in the beginning, we worked with seedlings, with seeds. So we watered seeds with regular water, and we watered with Ańalemma water. So, and we measured the biophotons. So every biological system exudes a light. And we have this very, very special technology, very sensitive technology that can actually capture every single biophoton. So if you have high biophoton radiation, it literally means that you have much stronger vitality. So what we did, we realized that seeds watered with regular water flatlined. Nothing really happened. But seeds watered with Ańalemma water, there was this, we started seeing this sinusoidal shape of peaks and valleys of biophoton emission. So we're wondering what happens there. What is the secret? And after a while, we figured out that it follows the tides.
Right.
So it actually connects you to the natural rhythm. So there are rhythms in nature, and we are basically cut off from them. And when you drink this water, it connects you to that very particular rhythm. So we are entering the state of coherence. Water becomes coherent, but when we drink, we enter a state of coherence with natural rhythms. So it was really, this was actually the very beginning of our work. So we were really had this, oh my God, moment where we realized how this connection system within us gets activated when you drink the right kind of water. People see water as just an element, but it's something completely different. I would like to kind of maybe explain to people in a more descriptive way what coherence means. So if you have a light bulb, or let's say 5 watts, it will give you some light. But if you have 5-watt laser, it will actually burn through your table. So laser is a coherent form of light. And you have coherent state and form of water. So true power of water is being unleashed in this very particular coherent state.
That's beautifully explained, honestly. I mean, I really like the way you explained it. So now let's talk about, since we already spoke, how important water is and focusing on quality of water. I think that's, as we all know, and the next biggest issue in the world that we are facing is going to be about water, right? Yes. And the fact that we are talking about quality of water that really impacts every aspect of our living is such a big discussion. So now let's talk about on a personal level, when we start to have Ańalemma water, what are the kind of benefits that we really see? And I've been having it for now a month and a half. So I will come up with my own experience, but I would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. So we decided that we want to definitively prove that there is something biologically remarkable happening when people drink this water. So we didn't just want to stay in the level of kind of anecdotal experience, and we have loads of those. People have remarkable personal experiences with the water, but we wanted to go into hard science, so that we kind of prove to everybody and anybody what this water does. So one of the methods that we came to is glycan age. What I love about glycan age, they're measuring biological age in contrast to chronological age, but it goes even more than that. I love their whole approach because they are they're measuring the state of glycans.
Mhm.
Glycans are key modifiers of our T cell activities. T cells are #1 defense of our body. So T cells are the cells that search and destroy pathogens, viruses, bacteria, fungi, all the pathogens in our system. So this is the first line of defense. So from one angle, the state of glycans tells you how efficient your immune system is. And the other one is also extraordinary. Now, everybody is aware that low-grade inflammation is the key cause of all chronic diseases. So there is a combination of pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory glycans. Mm-hmm. So the more anti-inflammatory glycans you have in your body, healthier and more youthful you are. So when you take all of this into account, they actually calculate your biological age. So what we did a baseline test when we determined the biological age of individuals in this study, and 3 months later, we did another test. Mm-hmm. And results were truly remarkable. Almost every single person in the study experienced between 1 and 12 years of biological age rejuvenation. Their entire system got regenerated on cellular level. This was really, really, really remarkable. But we didn't want to stop there. We realized in our plant research that, mitochondria create light. Yes. So we realized in plants that plants watered with our water exude 60% more light. They have 60% higher vitality. So we wanted to see how does that correlate with humans. So we employed an ATP study where we measured ATP levels within humans. So we use this method with luciferase, which is an enzyme that catalyzes light in bioluminescent organisms. And due to its extraordinary sensitivity, you can measure intercellular ATP in humans, ATP levels. So we did a baseline test and people drank Ańalemma water for 2 months. And then we did another test. And there was significant rise in ATP levels just by drinking the water. It was really remarkable to see your entire energy of your system just by drinking the water rises significantly. Now I have to mention the third study because we didn't want to stop there. We realized since the importance of soil for the food. So we took completely depleted, destroyed soil, and 1 chunk of it we watered with regular water and 1 chunk with Ańalemma water. And what happened is that there was extraordinary explosion of biodiversity in the microbiome of soil when you water it with Ańalemma water. So much so that the bacteria started to suck CO2 out of the atmosphere into the land where it belongs. So it became extraordinarily fertile. We actually wanted to see how would humans react, human microbiome, when drinking this water. So we measured the dysbiosis. We did the double-blind placebo-controlled again test where we measured the dysbiosis index of the microbiome. So this dysbiosis index describes the degree of deviation within the microbiome, taking into account all the bacterial phyla and species and their weighing factor. And we had absolute improvement of 38% on the dysbiosis index of the microbiome. It really has a profound influence on our overall health. This water has really, that's why we're treating it as a blessing. Yes. And to be honest, we feel that we are stewards of this water, not the owners, because it's so important for the planet. And we just want to do our very best to try to get it to as much hands as possible so people can get the benefit.
And you're doing that, which is such an amazing job, because I feel the fact that you've done the research, you put in so much of effort to do the research, and that itself is the belief that you have in what you're doing, which is so, it just makes me feel like a lot of the people come up with products, but they don't really take the effort to do the researches the way you've done. And it takes a lot. If anybody's watching and they've done anything to do with research, then you know that it's not an easy process to go through that. So the fact that you're doing is amazing. And secondly, that you're making it so accessible for people to have it, right? It's just like a click away. You can have this water. And not only that, it's just so easy to use. And it's not one of those things that you fit in some filter and then, it's putting an effort to go and fill. It's just so easy to take this and swirl it in your water and you are done. And you can just keep having this pure magical water all day. So walk me through the process of it. It's one thing to come up with this, do the researches, but also to make it so accessible for everyone who would like to have an access to something like this.
So we kind of wanted to make it as affordable as possible for people, so that anybody reasonably can actually afford this. And it is really delicate, so you need to take care of it, because if it falls down, it will break. But if you take care of it, it will create coherent water for life. So we just kind of have to take care of it, and it will do its job. So to explain a little bit to people, what is actually the Analemma? So you have this stainless steel holder, which has crystal vial, which is filled with what we call the mother water. It takes 1 full year to create, for us to create the mother water. Mother water is water in this very special, highly dominantly positive state. And as we already mentioned, water is a broadband absorber, receiver, and transmitter of energy, and it will always pick up the dominant frequency. So when you swirl the Analemma through the water, any H2O molecule that comes into close proximity to the mother water will mimic its exact structure. It's very simple, it's very, very elegant, and it's very powerful. The crystal vial actually serves as a superconductor. Crystal is there, but it's like it's not there. It creates the separation between the mother water and the water that you swirl through, but it transmits its frequency. And for 3 deciliters glass, you just need 15 to 20 seconds of swirling. And if you use larger containers of water, pitchers of 1 liter, 2 liters or more, then you have to swirl for a minute. Well, it depends on the quantity of water. Very soon, actually, we're going to be coming up with a whole house system that you just can install into the piping system of your house. Then all of your house will actually have coherent water, so you don't even have to think about it. We are going to be coming out, well, with in a couple of months, also with this beautiful kind of decanter style pitcher that you just pour water in. It has double bottom, which with also crystal with mother water inside, so you don't even have to swirl. But all of these methods work, and it will create a coherent water for you. There were a couple of scientists that kind of came up with some forms of structured water. We tested all of them. The main difference between Analemma water and all of them is its stability of the structure. So we tested all of other waters. They do make some sort of coherence, so that's a given. But water goes back into chaos between a couple of minutes and day and a half. With Analemma, we tested it consecutively for 5 years now. With just one treatment, water stays in that very particular liquid crystalline state even after 5 years. So it actually will last virtually forever, because we haven't seen any change in the structure. With just one treatment, it stays in that very particular state. That's the main difference of it.
That's amazing. That's really superb. I just want to come back to the swirling. I love
Mhm.
that process because it's such a ritual for me. So I do it for a minute because I have like this big bottle that I carry everywhere. So I do it for a minute, and that 1 minute while I'm swirling, it's time for me to also say affirmations because I am a huge believer of affirmations. So it's like you're swirling your water and saying few affirmations about your health and wellness and energy and beauty. And I just feel it's such a beautiful process to have.
It's so wonderful, and thank you for that, because this is what we need. You're actually bringing your entire consciousness in that very particular moment, and you are getting so much more benefit doing that. Even without it, you're of course going to receive a lot of it, but this is the way I believe we should start living. In
Yes.
this way, you're treating yourself with reverence, you're treating water with reverence. This is what we need to learn. When you treat, we are all water.
Yes.
When you treat people with reverence, you're sending this very special vibration to people. And I know it's not even a belief. Whatever you put out comes to you, comes back to you. So this is the way we're creating the abundance of love and respect and joy. And water is the medium. Water is the communication system that actually handles everything. So it's really inspiring. And it's awesome that you actually were chosen as a beacon of light to people, because this is the way, the right way to live.
Yeah, and as you know, I've had my own journey, and I feel like living consciously every moment is what our true purpose is. And
Exactly.
I just feel like that 1 minute, a few times in a day, gets me back to that moment of connection with the most important thing that my body is made of, and that's water. And maybe sometimes before this, I didn't have that with water. I would just fill the bottle and drink. But now, because there is a gap of 1 to 2 minutes between filling the water and drinking it, I'm literally connecting with the water. And the reason is Analemma and the swirling part of it. So it's kind of a beautiful process to have.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. It is beautiful. And that beauty, the consciousness of that moment, the energy of that moment gets transmitted to the water and to every single cell in your body. And that's beautiful. We mentioned biophotons. We have the device that measures it. You literally become a powerhouse of light. So it's really, really, really amazing.
Thank you.
I want to mention one other thing.
Yeah.
Just so that people know, there is also one other element to this water. It creates extraordinary resilience. And you can see that on plants the fastest. So I always invite people to do a small test. You can take 2 basil plants, you water one with regular water, one with Analemma water. And after 3 weeks, you cut their water supply. What you will see very soon is that the basil plant water with regular water will shrivel down, and the one water with Analemma water will stay strong. And even if you just pour a little bit of Analemma water to it, you will see this revitalization happening. So there is something really extraordinary happening when you water plants with this water as well. So, we are having these oh my God moments very often in our research. That's why we're kind of really humbled to be, we are guardians of it.
Right.
We're stewards of it.
So let's bring the focus back on the mother water. I would really like my viewers to understand a little more about that, because I know it takes an effort and there's a process of having that mother water inside the vial. So what is the process and how long does it take and what is it exactly?
So it takes 1 full year. This is a proprietary process, so we can't share too much details with it, but usually how people create coherence is through vortexing, through crystals, through magnets, electricity. We are not doing any of those, but that's why we created all of those methods will create a form of structure. But as I mentioned already, it will water goes back very soon after you put it in a state of coherence. It goes back to the chaotic state. We actually did many things. We tried to push this water out of its coherence in so many ways. We radiated it with 4G, 5G. We did all kinds of things to push it out, but this water always bounces back. That's where that's why I mentioned this resilience. It's extraordinarily resilient. And when we drink this water, we become extraordinarily resilient. It's interesting. I'm going to come back to the plant research one more time. It's progressive. We watered tomatoes and grew tomatoes with this water. And then we were, when we grew them, we took out the seeds and planted them and grew tomatoes out of it and took seeds out again. So after 3 generations, you almost don't need to use pesticides. It becomes so extraordinarily resilient. Okay. When we drink this water, our body becomes resilient in that particular way.
This is amazing. Wow. That's the future of, living holistic.
Definitely. Yeah. And we are actually now, since, I know you are very aware how quality of our food influences the quality of our health. And when you look at it, spinach 15 years ago had 80% more nutrients than now because we depleted completely our soil. This water revitalizes not only the land, but the produce themselves. So we are now investing in agriculture research big time. I will definitely let you know the results. Within, I believe, the first half of the year, we're going to have the results because we want to go into whole agriculture world. We want to show to the farmers how this water can change the quality of the produce. And then people will have healthy food. Again, they will start to eat something which has much, much, much higher vitality, and all this vitality will end up in our cells. We want to make it widespread so that everybody will get, even if they don't buy the Ańalemma, through their food, they will get the vitality. And not only that, this is our whole mission statement, the mission statement of our company. We develop technology that we can install at the wells of the biggest rivers. And then all the life down the stream would thrive. As the microbiome of the water changes, as the water enters the state of coherence, plant life, animal life would change. And not only that, all of this water would end up in the oceans. And then the oceans would become coherent. And then we would have a coherent planet. And this is really a blessing. And this is what we are actually aiming for. I know it's a tall order. It will take time, but this is exactly what we want to do. And it would be amazing that down the line, I don't know how fast we'll be able to do, but that all the water supply of biggest cities would be coherent. So then you would even have to buy all of the equipment now. You just open your faucet and you have coherent water. And that would be brilliant. I know it will take a time to get there. And this is also very interesting. Scientists discovered that if you move the water in a straight ways or in rectangular kind of piping system, when you move the water that way, it loses vitality immediately. But since our water is so resilient, it actually doesn't lose vitality when you move it like that. So, because it will be very hard to change the whole piping system of the cities. But in this way, we solve that problem. You just make it coherent, and when it reaches your faucet, it will still be in that very particular coherent state. But that's down the line. This is,
but
I'm just sharing, where we are and where we want to go.
Yeah, the fact that you have that vision itself really is so encouraging, and it's so I'm so hopeful to know that there is a better world waiting for us because of people like you all. Because otherwise, the way things are going right now, everything from anything that we put into our system is questionable. You don't know where it's coming from and how the quality, the taste of it. everything has changed. And so the fact that, you're even thinking of changing things around, and it's obviously a big vision, it's going to take a lot of effort, but then it's going to happen, which itself is so positive.
We are so confident and we want to do it. That's why we're investing so much into the studies, because when you have hardcore science behind it, then after a while it becomes irrefutable. And we are really hoping that governments will get involved as well, because then it can really spread in a much faster way. That's why we always say join the water revolution, because we definitely believe that this century will be the century of water. The science of it, people will understand the power of water. Then it will cease to be just an element that you kind of, okay, I need it. I need to drink 8 glasses or 6 glasses of water a day. It becomes something special, something entirely different. And your rituals are, I love it. I just love it. This is exactly the way we should treat water, treat each other, and treat ourselves. So this is really brilliant.
Absolutely. Self-care for me is a big subject. And I feel like I truly believe, and have always believed, self-care is a spiritual practice. If you don't take care of your own health, and health, by health, I don't mean just physical health, that comes with your emotional health, physical health, mental health, your spiritual health, individually, yourself, without depending on, somebody else to take care of you, itself is a fulfilling journey. Because the moment you start to do that, you see so many magic unfolding in your life.
What I love about it is that it becomes automatic. When I'm taking care of myself, I'm taking care of everything, of everybody. Everything is included, because we are one. We are all one. We are all interconnected in so many ways. So that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
So Mario, let's now focus on an individual. If somebody is already decided to buy Ańalemma water, what are the instant benefit that they can think of and they will experience? And right now, I would like to share what I have experienced in the last 1.5 months. And I've been doing it for 1.5 months, with every time I drink almost 3.5 liters of water. And I have a bottle that's 1 liter. So every time I fill that water up, I'm swirling. So say 3 times a day at least. So of course, that aspect that I already spoke about, that it centers me and it kind of brings me back to myself. But the fact that I'm drinking this water has made me realize from last 1.5 months, which I started to see the effect in a week's time, that I feel more energy, physical energy. I'm definitely more energetic than I was. Even while I'm working out, I can see the difference. Secondly, I feel like it's impacted my mood. So even when I'm going through my monthly cycle, this time my PMS was much more manageable than it was last few months. So I feel like the water's really impacted that. And the third thing that I feel is that my skin is looking way better. Like it's looking healthier and feeling healthier and more moisturized than it was before I started this. So these are the very prominent 3 impacts that I see individually on myself. But I'm sure there are a lot of other benefits that you can talk about through experiences of people who've been having this.
I mean, we received so many comments, so many. It's amazing, it really humbles you when you know that you're actually bringing something to the world and people are getting results. I mean, there is nothing more gratifying than that, really. So people really reported many things, especially people who have in some way their health is not like optimum. Yeah, people have various, almost immediately results. For some people who are healthy, it takes a bit of time, but the results are there, especially people who are more conscious, more in tune with themselves, they sense, like you mentioned, within a week, they start sensing the difference. I will just mention one thing that I haven't actually mentioned to your people, where this results show the fastest. We did the double-blind twin study on brain waves, which was really interesting. So the doctor administering the water and the twins didn't know which one is which, and we followed everything in real time. As soon as the twin that drank our water took a sip, there was an instant connection between the better connection between the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, an instant cooling effect on the brain waves, especially in delta and theta waves. And then after a while, we repeated the test, and we didn't, again, the doctor didn't know which one was which, and the twins didn't know, but we gave it to the other one. And he had the same result. So this is where it happens. That's why you mentioned mood. You mentioned your entire sense. This is where it shows the fastest. So since water is a broadband absorber, receiver, and transmitter of energy, our brain waves, this is an electromagnetic phenomenon. So there, the change happens instantly. And everything else just evolves through time. That's why we wanted to do the glycan age study, because, you know, they told us what is the shortest amount of what is the length of the study, the shortest length of study that we could have. And they said, well, it takes at least 3 months for the glycans to change. And this is exactly what we did, the minimum. And within 3 months, glycans changed so much that there is really extraordinary a change in the biological age. But lovely things about these glycans is that through the state of glycans, you definitely can see what will happen in 2 years' time, in 7 years' time, in 15 years' time. So you know when your state of glycans are changing, your long-term health is changing. So you know that you're doing something very, very beneficial for your long-term health, not just your short-term health. So, and people really reported, I don't want to kind of go into all the details because, you know, this is water, so it's not a cure or a medicine, but the results are really phenomenal.
Amazing. That really answers my questions. Now, bringing focus back to you, of course, we all can see how passionate you are about it. And, you know, you're really going all out for people to benefit out of it. So where do we see Analemma water going, as you already spoke about the bigger plans and the vision you have, but individually, how everyone can benefit it? How can they go and buy this for themselves, gift it to their loved ones, or, you know, how can they have a piece of Analemma?
They can just go to the coherent-water.com. That's coherent-water.com. They can purchase their Analemma, get the benefit immediately. I would suggest that they sign up on our newsletter, because we're constantly doing new studies. And that's the place where we can share all of our science, everything that we are doing, so people can get on board. I'm inviting everybody to join this water revolution, because I'm telling you, this century will be the century of water. Join us. And this is something that I really love, how nature is teaching us how to live. When, as I mentioned, this colloquially speaking, these H2O molecules, they join hands, and that's where their true power is being unleashed. This is exactly what we need. If all of us as humans, if we join hands, there aren't problems we can't fix. In our overall coherence of people on this planet, then we are not going to have any issues. This is what the world needs right now. The world needs harmony.
Yes.
This is harmonic water. We should just follow the flow and reconnect with one another.
I totally agree. And just to end the interview with something interesting that we spoke about when I met you for the first time on Zoom a month back, is how water is connected with our spiritual connection with our divine. I truly have believed whenever I'm well hydrated, I'm more intuitive. And when I'm meditating, I get my messages and answers more clearly. And, the phases and times when I'm not as hydrated, I am not as connected with my divine self. What is your take on that?
Most definitely. And I love that I can actually share this with you, because your people will definitely appreciate it, since they listen to you and they're in harmony and in resonance with you. This is where we started. We realized the spiritual importance of this water. We are actually investing in all of the studies just so that people know that there is extraordinary benefit from the physical perspective and from any other perspective. But we came from the spiritual. That's the number one thing for us, because we know, exactly like you mentioned, when you connect with yourself, when you drink this liquid crystalline state water, you turn your body, your soul, your entire being into an antenna, and you can receive the optimum frequency, the optimum information that's for the highest good of all. Not only for you, but for everybody. This is what meditation is about.
Yeah.
This is synchronizing ourselves with the divine, and water plays a role there. So it truly is a wonderful thing. This is where we came from. This is our number one thing. That's why I so resonated with you. All of else is just a part of our kind of the collective of who we are. But it all starts with the spirit.
Totally. On that note, thank you so much for making me a part of it, for choosing me to be a part of it. And I feel so grateful and honored to be here and be a medium to spread this information and knowledge to people. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine, and the honor is all mine. I am truly grateful that you came on board and that you decided to be the beacon to spread this to the world. So thank you. Thank you, Uma, so much.
Thank you. And as my viewers know, I'm very choosy about associating myself with brands, but this one is something that I'm truly proud of to be associated with. So thank you for coming on the Uma Show and spreading light and love and all that knowledge that you have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.